Yeah, do it again. So this is where the finishing product has to be precise. So let's do it again. Do the first move, go low, right? Yeah. So you open the shoulder up, yeah. Open the shoulder up. Because if you're like this, then open it up so you feel it in the back, right? You pull it in the back. Yeah. And then drop. So don't just lift, just drop. So at some point, once this hand gets to a point that's structurally sound, then it becomes a pivot point. You know, like those things in the rowboats, and it's like what do you call those? That U-shaped thing, and you got an oar in there, and you just kind of, do that to row, right? So when you find that pivot point, which is it's good. I got it. So when we do this is what we sometimes don't understand on a physical level, because on a mental level we say, well, we have to move this, and we use a certain amount of excessive strength. But if we're here and we do like this, and then when I lift my hand, at this point it becomes where it starts to rock. If you go like this, and then when you start to press and you go like this, that's double weighted again. So if you go like this, and I do this, 1, 2, I get to sink my elbow. Yeah. So when you sink your elbow, so where's my elbow? This is the elbow position you've been trying to find all this time, right? So here, now I'm already in that position. Why not just turn? And then turn. So while we put a lot of strength and effort into trying to get it to have power, you first have to get your position, get the transition, get the maneuver. So it just goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? This arm becomes straight. This arm is rocking. Now I get to here. This arm comes here, and this hand goes here. So in a sense, your two sides have to kind of know where it's supposed to go from the experience and from the idea of one. So active and passive, right? Active and passive movement. Active is driven and it's isolated. Passive is driven as a function of, right? So when you move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if your body is doing that from the time and experience, then when you're here, there's a sequence of events that your body has to go through in order to get the stick to move efficiently and structurally sound, right? So when we're here, here, push, down, turn, down, in, and push. Those transition, it's cycling through your body. It's not just your hands. Because if you notice, everything's moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see that once you build that, the body mechanics into the motion, then you have structure, you have a transition, you have integrity without forcing the movement. And then the accuracy of those positions start to be very consistent. Because when we don't have sort of that order, you can go through the motions but necessarily find the position each and every time. And some of it has to do with your legs, so it's really a function of your practicing. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. This and this. So essentially what you're doing is putting your hand in the right place each time before you execute the motion. So you're presetting the positions. It's because when we go through this, just doing this, we don't necessarily have a structural integrity in each and every one of those directional positions. So if I'm here, and I'm here, and I'm here, and I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, there's minute adjustments throughout the whole body. It's too many to kind of point out, but you know from where your position is with the stick, whether your arms and your joints and your body's manipulating correctly. Because if you watch, do they go to the same place? Right? Everything's eye level, right? Everything is here. Your position relative to the body is kind of programmed into your system, and the more your body understands this, the deeper that understanding is. The deeper it is, the more consistently your position will come in. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the one that was here, this one should be long. So why is it long? Because the motion is created by this. You see this position and this position the two sides, kind of have a give and take. This is the yin and yang of the stick. The stick is yin and yang because they complement each other. They're working in harmony. So there's active and passive. There's right and left. There's up and down. See? So when you hear 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, right. So my hand is here. If you poke here, you poke toward here. Right? If you poke here, you poke here. Poke here. See, I'm here. This, if you come here, see, and then you strike, see, then this comes down, poke to here, leg, so that's the direction of your force. Because everything's like a seesaw. When you press on one side, the other side goes up. You push on this side, it goes out, this goes back. What goes forward, the other side goes back. It's kind of counteracting, counterbalancing. Then you have to sink your elbow, relax your shoulder. Then you have to transition the legs. So between the leg work, which is shifting of weight, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can practice it this way as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how your joints, the arms, your appendages, they have to synchronize. You have these three joints here, and you have three joints, meaning the wrist, your elbow, your shoulder. Then you have your hip, your knee, and your wrist, the ankle. So these three joints and these three joints have to work in harmony. That's what upper-lower coordination is. So if we're here, this, it's not just the hand, it's also the legs. Now we want to go down, we have to drop. Right? So if you look here, looks like this. Then when you're here, it looks like this. Right? Then when you go like this, if you come from front, so then you build the timing for the legs. So the hand pattern has to be developed and consistent. Then you have your leg pattern, which is consistent. Then you have the relationship of the leg in coordination. Right? So while the feet can be fast, there's no distinguishing between a solid and empty leg. So you have to, so you don't want to just be too quick on the footwork. Because if you're too quick, you can't get back into your stance. Then it doesn't tie into your hips. It's just mobility, but there's no strength in your stance. Because you can't finish your legs. So I'm not doing this. I'm transitioning the legs after I'm ready to, but when I'm ready to strike. Then you're in your stance. So you have to be in your stance every time you create the power move. Yeah. No different from your fist form. But, so Lawrence, because you're taller, your horse stance should be wider. Yeah, but so when you do your back step, you're putting weight here too early. It has to be, it's not there yet. Then you put your weight. Yeah. That means the right leg, as you step, next step, it has to go through the solid position before you fill the other leg. But your legs are in the wrong offset. You still have to go to offset stance. The foot, yeah. So when you go here, see, this has to, then you can adjust into your stance at the final motion. Then when you go in your stance, because you're tall, you need a bigger stance. But when you go into your stance, yeah, so your foot should be, the back foot should be up further. And then when you go into your stance, spread this thigh and then open up the hip. Otherwise, it just looks like it's a one-dimensional move. You bend your knees, but you're not tie in the stance through your hips. So your hips have to be supple in the hips, because if you're not supple in the hips, they're working like double weighted. It's a unit, but it's not separate. It's not distinguished between the strong leg and the passive leg. Like, so when you go from here and I shift, I'm actually moving that. And then when I'm here, I'm winding up here, and then I'm going back into the legs. So the movements go through your body and down into legs and then up and back. It's a cycle. It's a concept, but it's not easy to, yeah. Yeah, do it again. Yeah. Okay, so we're missing something there. We're missing the backstroke. See, when we're here, right? Because we're thinking about our legs, the waist is forgotten. Because we're thinking about the legs, the pattern's forgotten. So what you have to do is get that pattern down, this, right? This, and this, so that it's second nature. And then when you move your leg, the pattern's going to be there. Because if you think of your pattern and think of your legs and think of it gets all isolated and it doesn't connect. So that's so when we're here, you have to turn. So, but look at where my stick is. It's down, ready to go low. Here, 1. Okay, so if you watch closely, I'm moving here, but I'm also ready to move my foot. Here. Now, the next transition, I brought more weight here. But I'm solid enough to make my transition while I'm starting to go down. When I go down, my knees go down. My elbows fold. And then it comes up. So this comes back to the same relationship between the elbows, the knees, the hands, the feet, and the ankles. Right? The hands and feet are the ankles. That's the upper-lower coordination. So when we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. If you transition like that, don't rush the movement, because if you rush, something's going to be missed. Your body will miss it. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be so physical. At the end result can be physical, but if you do this, it doesn't have to be so powerful that it doesn't, because once you start to do this, there's a point there that you have to relax, and then it's going to get mistimed. Yeah. So when you go like this, yeah, so, yeah. So right there, do that again, Larry, Lawrence. Right here, see your arm is too excessive right there. Yeah, because you're doing this. You have to pass through that. You can't do that. How you gonna get that to bend again? You have to fold it. So you have to get there, and then it can fold. So between the passive active movement, the grip, the tension, it varies, constantly changing. So try to get more solidness on the supporting leg. Yeah, so again, right, okay, when you're like this, when you get like, you have to wind here to come back here. If you don't wind here, then your stick is going to be over there, because you have right and left, right? Then it comes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Create a circle. So that's when you just take without any stopping, but that's what your elbow is doing. So your elbow moves, your shoulders move, and the hand turns. When you do this, you sink your elbow. When you sink your elbow, you extend it. So the opposite of sinking is to expand. But don't pull, sink. If you sink, you'll pull. If I go like this, like in Tai Chi, I sink my elbow. Do I do this? No, right? I don't do this. So when you do this, it's not this. You see what I mean? So don't sink and then pull, then it becomes excessive. If I pull, this is sinking, this is pulling. So I sunk and pull, but if I sink and pull, I'm already too high. If I just sink, then it'll be there to here. If you look at my backhand, when I sink, so now, did I pull back and push, or did I release and push? Now this is a little bit different, but it's the same idea. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. So when you thrust, you're thrusting here, and then guiding it here and finishing. When I'm here, I'm sinking and relaxing here. That becomes a passive movement because my shoulders relax. So if I sink and relax my shoulder, then I can control my hand. You see? If I pull, the strength is committed. Then you can't change. It doesn't adapt. This is adapting. You see? This is what understanding strength is. Strength is in the body, but how do we understand that? That's something that the body starts to recognize from experience. So we have to learn how to control those two ideas. That I'm not pressing, I'm just in a pressing position. You know, right? Because my hand here, okay, if I'm going like this, you don't have to hit strike, it's just if I'm here, and then you lift my hand with your hand, right? When I'm here. See, this is where the strength is. So once I'm here, I don't have to press. I'm just there. But when I'm here, it becomes, so you're pulling up. Just lift straight up.
Straight up that way?
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah. So when I'm here, you see, so I don't need to do this. That's because I'm tense. But I'm here, right? So because I'm here, right, then I'm here. If I'm here and I just relax, then my hand's going to go like this, right? So if I'm here and I go like this, I sink again. Just relax. Just relax. If you're rowing a boat, do you have to have, after you go like this and you're projecting forward, do you need to do this? You only need the force in this direction when you're pushing the water, right? But when I get to here and I'm in space to do this, I don't need to go. You follow me? So actually this is active, passive, active, passive, active, passive. So now, because I don't have this mechanical thing that's attached, I have to adjust this. Because now this gets, you want a bigger stroke, then I have to change. So I want a bigger stroke. There's a little bit of this, and a twist here, and then it changes. But then when you go too far, that's a waste of energy, because you only need to go there. So if I'm doing that, if you poke here, I only need to go here. I don't need to go here. That's excessive. So efficiency of movement is just here, here, here. See? There's your position. Here's your position. Here's the position. See? You really don't need to do this. You just need to push. When you do a palm strike, right? That's all there is, right? If I'm here, this is like my palm strike position, right? So I don't need to put a lot of strength here, because all I'm using this for is to do this. If I do this, so fulcrum doesn't have to move. That's the pivot point in the position. So my hand is here. I want this to be stable. It won't be stable if my elbow's here. Then if it's out here, then I have to use strength here, because I have to tense this. But if I'm here, I have stability, just like you have stability when you're here. When you do your palm strike, your palm strike is not here, because it's not tied to your body directionally. It's not compatible with the rotation. So if I'm here, then my strength is there. So I don't need to do anything more than, I don't have to put anything beyond the strength of holding my hand here. And I don't need to hold it like, if I hold it like this, you're going to need more strength. Why? Because you're pushing the force into your thumb, and now that's out of position. When the hand is like this, you don't need to put any more strength in it. Why? Because you're pushing into this bone, and this bone is transmission supported to here, and it comes to here. See, this is what a natural structure it becomes. Your skeletal structure has to be in, right, a natural position. But anything unnatural requires something to support it. So you either add some strength if the hand is trying to hold it. So if you're trying to do this, then you're going to have to use a lot of muscular strength. If you're like this, then all you need is the points, this is your point of attachment. Because it's against you, it's attached with a bit of strength, but only enough to keep it stable. So that's the idea. That's what, when you do the stick and it has the concept of yin and yang. Yin and yang is, support, opposing, complementary. Yeah. So when I go like this, what goes down must go up. This is where it pivots, but the pivot point is here. So why like this? Why not like this? Because there's no strength here at this point. There's strength here, but if I go like this, I have to sink and turn my wrists. But it adds another component. So, but sink and don't pull. Because what you think maybe this is what you see, that looks like I'm pulling in. I'm not pulling in. I'm twisting. In fact, my stick is doing this. I'm not doing this. You see, I'm not pulling in. That's tension in my here. I'm sinking and turning. Now, when I sink and turn, my leg is moving out. Why? Because when I'm here, this creates strength like that way, a directional force this way. This and this become the summation of those components in a direction. So when I sink, it comes down to my leg. But you see this knee is going that way. If this is going that way, this must go that way. Now it becomes right and left. Now it becomes forward and backward, right and left. You see how that's, yeah. Yeah. So when you do this, you can't lose that position. Here, and then here, and then here. Those are sort of the phases of the movement. Because every movement, because we're in a space, we have to deal with that space. Which is 45? Yeah. Well, actually, well, you have to. This is a center line. There's a foot here and a space here. So this, it's not 45 there, but it's 45 here. See, it's 45 here. Yeah. So when you're here, it's like this. But this, and this. This is about as long as your arm. Now, this is all you have to do. When you're here, this is all you have to do, right? But what makes the difference is your turn. Because if I turn here, then I can come back to here. If I don't turn, yeah, but your foot went the wrong way. Yeah, you have to, don't walk this way. avoid. So this, then you turn then you step, then you're here. So it looks like when you poke here, then I have to step here, and then I have to come back to center. You see? The what? Yeah. Well, because you're moving away. If I'm like this and I start walking like this, I'm moving away from you. I'm moving away from you this way too, but I'm coming back. So when you move in the line, you're still moving straight back. If you do this, then you're gonna keep going over there. But the reason why when you do a cross step, because the legs are not together, there's too much space here. When you turn, that's how the step should be. When you're here, one, weighted here, that becomes a weighted foot. And then during the cross, you're kind of in, yeah. So right at that point, you say, well, are you double weighted, right? Are you double weighted? Right here, right? This is your point of stability. This is the heel, that's the toe. So you're not double weighted in this position, toe and heel. So because I'm here, because if I have too much weight here, I can't use my waist. So at this point, I'm still using my waist, so the line is through the center here, right? And then I shift to here, and then I allow my body to come around. And then this comes back in. So it's 1, 2, 3. So it's toe heel. See? Here. So this is where we lose it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's this because the legs are so close together. The shift between here and here is happening through here, through your center. If your legs are far apart like this, the shift between here and here is very obvious. So between here, this one. Now, if I'm here, I can go this way or this way, right? And then I'm here. Now, if I'm here, if I push my knee here, you see my knee? If I push my knee here against my calf, you feel here. If I release that pressure, then I'm ready, I can move. It comes down to give and take. One can control the other. Yeah. So go into a cross stance, right? Go into a cross stance. Now push your knee against your calf. Now you feel now you have solid there. Yeah.
Here it's kind of like you have that, I guess, transferring either one. You want a quick move.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you're here. 1, 2. Now where am I here? Well,
Now you set up.
here.
Now you plan it back.
Yeah.
Strike.
But when I do this, I have to do this. And then I'm here. Yeah. Well, well, because this is pushing here. It's not because I'm lifting it. Because when I bend the knee, then they start to level out. But that's why when you say relax, right? It's not relaxing as a just a mindset. Relaxing is letting the tension in the joint go. Any tension in your joint is going to be conflicting. So when does this happen? When you start to understand this concept, is that your body becomes much more synchronized and coordinated, because it starts to understand the fundamental idea of passive active movement. That's solid and empty. No, yeah, no, this one's like this. Yeah. And then go, step. Yeah. And no, you could, okay, do that step again. Step, go. The heel. The heel should be here. Because you kick your heel out. Because when you kick your heel out, open here. Huh? You round out the qua. Yeah. So the back knee can go down. You go like this. You're here. So this. Yeah. Yeah. Drop stance. Yeah. 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 Because you're turning here. Right? That's here, right? So this. This, so the turn. Just like it. That's your forearms twisting like this. So because we're here, so you hit, it's twisting, then you're twisting. This is just adding a little bit of another layer to your movement, so that it makes it different from just the physical sequence and the physical form. Kick your heel out, Max. Get in the stance and kick the front heel. Kick it out. Kick. Yeah. Kick the front heel out. It's like you're doing a side kick. So when you do that, then you finish your stance. But in fact, keep kicking the heel out. Because it's another piece of the movement. You have to get your musculature used to doing that. So that every time you go into a horse stance, you're going to kick that heel out. Going to kick that heel out. If you do a sliding step, kick. Yeah. Sliding step, boom. Sliding step, boom. So that way, Anytime you move your stance, you're always going to have strength. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, because your arm's bent. Your back arm is bent. If you straighten it out, it'll go back into the position it should be. See, when you're here, this is not a pivot point. This is a stability point. See, when you're here, see what I mean? So this is a fulcrum. That's a fulcrum. When you're here, this is a fulcrum without a back, or it's the pivot point. Because the power's from here, like this. But because we're driving it from here, this becomes the point of control. But in order for you to control it, it has to be, you see this? On the forward movement, it's like this. Then your elbow should go out. Yeah, like this. No, leave this. Cup this, like this. Fold the elbow. And this can come like that. No, like this. This is long, right? This is like this. You see my elbow? My elbow's like this. Now I have supported here, and it's supported here. When I'm like this, thrusting, when I'm like this, now this is long. See? Now this is short. Because this is long. But when you're here, you're not like this. If you're like this, it's not connected to the direction of your movement. Like this. That's why when you do this, do this. Yeah. Yeah. The trick is just for the body to understand it from experience and time. So you just do this throughout any of your practices, not just this in your fist form. It will show up as something your body will connect with. Yeah, but you have to be in horse stance, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You feel better? Yeah. Yeah, so your stick should be over the side a little bit more. Yeah. Again, yeah, pull. Step forward. So right there, you have to turn your shoulder, your waist. Yeah, and now step forward. And then, yeah. So you turn it here, and then come back. So you turn it here, and then you're here. So you go this way to come back to center. If you don't go this way before you go to center, then your stick is going to be over there. But when you turn this way, and then now your center is back in the center line. Yeah, they're little things, but it changes the whole mechanics of the motion. Yeah, but don't wind up. When you go like this, don't add that. When you're here, just from here. Yeah, don't wind up. Yeah. Okay, ready? We'll bow. So those are little things you practice. Hup. So instead of beef jerky, it's called wood jerky. Something to chew on. Ah, you must be thirsty. You must be thirsty.